police running all in and out the building. What the hell is going on?
Hey, look, y'all was asking, hey, Twuan, what you think about the 53-man roster? Hey, here is the official and the initial 53-man roster. And I think I got one of my homies with me.
What up,
Hey, yo, what's good, YouTube? What's good, Raider Nation? Yes, we are in the building today. Hey, 53-man roster, the initial, and you'll understand why I'm saying the initial 53-man roster is about to be broken down by yours truly, Raider Twuan. And I got a homie in the backstage, and he's excited to be here, you know what I'm saying, to break down the 53-man roster with your boy. But hey, shout out to the congregation in the building. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. And if you guys want to be a part of the congregation, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Because you know what? We on our way to 500 subscribers. You know what I'm saying? We are very close. I think we're about like 25 away. And some of you guys need to be a part of that 25. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button, okay? It's completely free to do. And hit that like button again. Why? Because I like you. All right. Hey, and also shout out to the deacons out there. Make sure you guys are sharing this out, putting it on every place you can put it. You know what I'm saying? Putting it in Instagram, you know what I'm saying, Twitter, you know what I'm saying, Moco Space, MySpace. Make sure Raider Twuan and the congregation is in the place. Go ahead and share this live, okay? Hey, and it's a friendly live. You can let your mom watch this. You know what I'm saying? You can watch your grandma watch this and get some Raider gospel. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I gotta bring out one of my boys, you know what I'm saying? One guy that I can say I truly love, you know what I'm saying, within this Raider Nation YouTube content creating web that I fell into 3 years ago. And I think I met him probably about 3 years ago. And he has been a solid brother. Me and him talk, you know what I'm saying, offline about personal things. I ain't gonna tell you those personal things because remember I say your business is between me, you, and the Lord. So me and him keep it close like that, but definitely me and him have had some conversations, and we're close, you know, outside of just Raider football. And I'm glad to have him in my life, and I'm glad to have him today. Ladies and gentlemen, you may know him, you may not know him, but this is my brother on T6. Good to see you, man. How you doing today?
I'm pretty good, Twuan. How you doing? Shout out to the congregation. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Thanks for having me. Another beautiful, blessed Sunday. You know, thanks for having me on, man. Thanks. You know, good to see you, brother. Like always.
Absolutely, man. It's always good to get to talk to you, man. You know what I'm saying? Not face to face, but screen to screen. You know what I'm saying? And getting it in. I've been, like I said, like I told you I'm gonna tell a little business behind the scenes. You know, I've been trying to get you on the live,
Yeah.
and I felt like, hey, this would be a perfect one to get you on. So I'm glad to have you. You know what I'm saying? Have you here. We hey, shout out to the chat. Hey, the chat. We're gonna go through the initial 53-man roster. We're gonna go room to room. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and put your comments in the chat. I will be looking at those throughout the process. It won't be all the way till the end of the live. You know what I'm saying? I'll be looking at it room to room. If you got something to say about the quarterback, if you got to say something about the wide receiver, if you got something to say about the tight ends when we get there, go ahead and put that in the chat. And also, if you got questions, you know what I'm saying? Auntie Six is really good. Has a lot of good information. You know what I'm saying? So definitely ask questions, because me and him, if we can't get it, then it's probably not out there. I'll just say it like that, because me and him definitely do our Raider homework. So definitely you want to do that. The other thing that I was going to say is there will be periods where you may not see us on screen face to face, because we've got the screen up. So know that we're still there. But we want to give you some visuals and all of that good stuff. So that's the other point. The other thing, understand this, you guys. This is the initial 53-man roster. This is the roster that they brought out when they first released the 53-man roster. Obviously, there has been some changes, you know what I'm saying, from there. And we'll talk about that when we need to talk about that. But we'll be judging and critiquing and analyzing the printed version. I obviously I made screens, but that's the guys that were on the 53, and we'll be judging that and analyzing that. And then at the end, we may talk about some additions and stuff like that if they're not on the roster that we have on the screen. So just know that. So you guys are on page with that. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let me do a quick shout out before we really get in on T6. Shout out to Afterthree Raider. You know what I'm saying? A really good brother in the Raider Nation. So
shout out to my boy AR.
I'm bad with times. I don't know what time it is over there, but it's probably not a favorable time. So I'm glad that you are definitely watching us. Daniel Berry, highlights and sports. I'm saying it wrong, but you let me pull up his name so y'all can get it right. You know what I'm saying? Daniel Berry is in the building.
What's up, Daniel?
You know what I'm saying? Good to see you. And you know what I'm saying? We slowly moving in, grooving in. Myra G is in the building. Good to see you, Myra.
What's up, Myra?
I know at some week we're gonna see you in fantasy. You know what I'm saying?
True that.
Got her on guillotine and some I think she might be in Gravy's league. I don't know, but
yeah, she's in Gravy's league. I'm in Gravy's league too.
Well, you a friendly competitor, and definitely appreciate you coming over to the channel. Yes, sir. So definitely you guys can get your comments in there, get your questions in there, and we'll definitely be paying attention to that as we go along. Auntie, I'm gonna put you on the spot. You're gonna be the first person to get your shots off on each room. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll close. You know what I'm saying? I'll close out the room. So the first room we're gonna talk about is the quarterbacks, and then you talk whatever you need to say about the quarterback room. What's interesting, whatever pops out to you, and then I'll say some things, and then we'll move on to the next room. All right. Is that all good?
Sounds good, brother.
All right. Well, let's get it in. Let's get it in. Let me go ahead and get this quarterback slide up. I should have put it in order. There we go. Quarterbacks. Okay. So quarterbacks and running backs are on, but we're going to talk about the quarterback room first. Quarterback room is Aiden O'Connell. Okay, this is the initial 53. Kenny Pickett and Geno Smith. What are your thoughts about this quarterback room, man? How you feeling about it? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Give me your Raider gospel here on that quarterback room, Monty Six.
I mean, to be honest with you, I actually like this quarterback room. It might be one of the deepest, more experienced quarterback rooms we had in years, and that's something positive. At the end of the day, I know a lot of people are mad that we traded for Kenny Pickett. I'm not. I know you're probably not, Twan, because we all remember back in the days when Derek Carr got hurt, and the only backup quarterback we had on the roster was a rookie Connor Cook, and he started that playoff game. We all know what happened. At the end of the day, I'm not saying Kenny Pickett's going to be the savior, but he's a decent backup. When he did play for the Philadelphia Eagles last year, and that was 2 games, he did lead them both games to victory. So at the end of the day, it sucks that we lost AOC and he broke his wrist and he's going to be out for a while, but I feel pretty good about Pickett being the backup quarterback heading into the season.
Yeah, you know what? I say this too. I like the room. You know what I'm saying? I like Geno Smith. I'm glad that we actually have a quarterback
Yes.
in the room. And when I say quarterback, I mean quarterback. I think he's the best quarterback we've had since Derek Carr. You know what I'm saying? And I know some people hate Derek Carr, and here at Raider Twuan, I spits the gospel, and the gospel allows me to say all the players within the Raiders. And I think he's been the best quarterback that we've had since Derek Carr. And I think having Geno Smith gives us a lot of flexibility on where we go in regards to this is Geno's probably second shot, or third a shot at being a full-time quarterback. The majority of his career, he's been a backup quarterback. So he may be old in age, but he doesn't have a lot of wear and tear on his body. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not getting that many snaps as a backup quarterback. Holding the clipboard, there's not a whole lot of wear and tear holding the clipboard. And he did that for a good majority of his career. So there's a possibility that, and some people haven't talked about this because I've been listening to other channels, but there might be a possibility that we already have our quarterback.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? No, but having him for those, what are the 3-year contract, there might be a situation where we say, hey, we're going to extend you because you playing well. We know there's no physical wear and tear to you. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I'm saying? Especially at the starting quarterback. Now, we can continue to groom guys in the backup and, in case something happens, but there might be an issue. There might be a situation where we already have our franchise quarterback.
No, facts. And the thing I'm more excited about Geno Smith's game is the deep ball accuracy. You know what I mean? Especially if the Raiders are known for pushing the ball down the field. I finally think we actually have a quarterback that can actually do that. You know what I mean? Since Derek Carr, I like AOC personally. You know what I mean? He's a good player. I wish him all the luck, but he don't have that good of a deep ball. You know what I mean? And it's actually exciting to see the Raiders quarterback overthrow the wide receivers. You know what I mean? Deep. You know what I mean? Right. So they've always coming up short. So at the end of the day, I'm excited for Geno Smith, especially in this offense, because at the end of the day, this offense is going to be night and day compared to we actually have an offense coordinator that knows what they're doing, unlike Luke Geske that had our tackle lined up at the wide receiver position last year, which is one of the most ridiculous things I have ever seen in my life as a Raider fan. How the hell are you going to have an offensive lineman lined up as your number one receiver on the play? But that's another story for another day. But I'm just glad that Geno's here. And then the thing is, too, that what we gave up for him, too, wasn't really nothing, you know what I mean, to the Seahawks. At the end of the day, with the pick they got, they took the quarterback, Jalen Ramon from Alabama. So we pretty much gave up him for Geno Smith, which I will make that trade any day of the week.
Yeah, and to move on to the other guy, because I didn't get to break down that with Kenny Pickett. I like Kenny Pickett. Yeah. When Aiden O'Connell got hurt, one of the things I said on Captain Jack show, because he asked the question, he's like, what are you thinking about, what are you thinking in regards to, who we should bring in? And what the criteria that I said, it fit exactly what Pete Carroll and John Spiketek wanted. I said, I want somebody that's a veteran in this league, that's played some games in the NFL, that has been a starter and possibly have won some games in the start, in the starting position. And, as much as I don't think Kenny Pickett will ever be, a bona fide starter, he has been a starter in this league, and he's also won some games in this league. And there's some value in regards to a quarterback that has played games in this league, knows what's going on with coverages and et cetera, and also has won some games, had some success in this league. And when you looked at him at Pittsburgh, there were some games that maybe they shouldn't have won, but he was the quarterback and they won those games. So I'm not going to have a heart attack if Geno needs to get retaped on the sideline and Pickett goes out there to handle the offense for a game or two or whatever the situation may be. You know what I'm saying? Knock on wood, because I want Geno to be healthy the whole entire season. But if there was a situation where Kenny Pickett needed to go out there and keep the game afloat, I think he could do that for us.
No, facts. And the thing is, a lot of people don't know Kenny Pickett's mobile. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he's Michael Vick or Lamar Jackson and stuff, but he has some wheels and he can scramble and get some first downs, and that's always good. So, shout out to our GM and our head coach for getting somebody in here that, could be a possible backup and going into the future. You know what I mean? Just makes you think, what are we going to do with AOC and Kenny Pickett? You know what I mean? When he comes back from injury, but it should be interesting. But we'll see when that happens.
Hey, shout out to Marcus in the building.
Oh, man. Are you trying to imply that I hit it? Oh, no, I see what
Marcus, darling.
Hey, how you doing, Lady Eloise?
I don't have any panties on.
Lady Eloise, please.
Hey, shout out to Marcus, the official, he's not a part of the Raider Nation, but he's a part of the congregation, and I'm glad that he's in the building. Every time Marcus comes in, I got to give Marcus the Marcus darling clip. So shout out to Marcus in the building. Appreciate you coming in, showing your love. I know you already hit that like button, so I know you're doing what you got to do for the congregation. Hey, we're about to get into this tight end. I mean, not tight end. Let me get my facts straight. Let's get the quarterback out of the way, and we go into the running back room, okay? The running back room. Auntie Six. What are you thinking about this running back room, and how you feeling about it, man?
To be honest with you, I'm a little mad that we keep Mostert and White. At the end of the day, I guess they were the best options that we had, but I personally would have cut both of them. I didn't see nothing from them really in preseason. I seen more from Dylan than I seen both of them in the preseason, especially because Dylan can play special teams, and we've seen what he can do in the return game. So that's why I think he really made the team. But I don't know how comfortable I am having Moser and White having them be our backup. Hopefully they don't see the field at all, and Genty stays healthy for the whole year, but we'll see.
Yeah, you know what, man? Let me read this off because I didn't read it off. Ashton, Genty, Dylan Laube, and this is alphabetical order, you guys. Ashton Genty, Dylan Laube, Raheem Mostert, and Zamir White are our running backs, okay? Those are our running backs for the season, you know what I'm saying, starting off the season. So, yeah, I think in regards to these running backs, I actually understand why they have who they have. I know some people, have a bad taste in their mouth in regards to I'm just going to keep talking. In regards to how they're maneuvering the system of the running backs, they have versatility. When you look at Ashton Genty, he did play a little bit of special teams, even though we know that special teams is not going to be something that we're going to ask our bell cow to do, but it's something that definitely we're going to be using. But the other guys, they do special teams. Dylan Laube, he's specifically going to be special teams. Okay. And then when you look at Zamir White, he has done some special teams. We saw that in preseason where he was he did return some kicks and stuff like that. So there's some versatility there in the special teams, you know what I'm saying, in the special teams realm. Also, with that being said, when you have Raheem Mostert, he is that what I'm looking for out of him is I think he's going to be our third down type of back, because even when third down was going on, Raheem Mostert was out there a lot of those third downs. So they might be using him looking at him in a special way for that third down situation, and we're kind of used to that. Remember, when Josh Jacobs was here, he was the bell cow, and who was the third down back for us that I was the fan club of? Amir Abdullah. And Amir Abdullah obviously was the veteran in the room, but he was our third down guy. So they're going to deploy them in certain ways, and I'm excited for that group. One thing that I was telling you behind the scenes that I'm going to bring out right now, people were down about Zamir White, and I was on the fan club of keeping him on the roster. And it was because, and if you guys remember some of those tapes when I was talking about Zamir White, I said, if Chip Kelly can draw up some plays that fit his system, fits what works for Zamir White, we might see the production that we saw in the past. And I think that's what we saw in the preseason. That gap power system that they were running for Zamir White. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that he was busting 20 yarders and breaking stuff to the house, but he was getting those 4 yards. He was getting those 5 yards. He was getting those respectable yards. And when I say respectable yards, what you want just in general, first of all, you want ball security, but you want that running back to get at least 4 or 5 yards a pop every time he gets the ball. And that's what was coming forth in Zamir White and the newer system that he was running behind. So we'll see how that plans out. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that Zamir White is going to be a bell cow by any sense, but I believe that, if you have Zamir White as that backup and he's running under a system that's favorable for him, I think it's going to work well, where you have Ashton Jeanty doing his thug thizzle, and then you have Zamir White coming behind him when he needs a break or whatever, and just giving us those respectable yards. You know what I'm saying? Of course, Zamir does have the ability to break one when there is that option for it. But if he can just give us those 4 or 5 yards while, you know what I'm saying, Ashton Jeanty's getting taped up, or Ashton Jeanty is drinking his Gatorade, or whatever the situation may be, that's what's going to keep this offense moving forward. And that's definitely what I'm expecting out of Zamir White and this offense. So shout out to this room. I think this room is very solid. I know that people also, and I'll ask you this too, how are you feeling that Sincere McCormick was not on the roster?
To be honest with you, I didn't think he was going to make the roster. You know what I mean? Especially when we started bringing in Mostert, when we brought him in, I don't think he was going to make it. At the end of the day, it sucks because a part of me wishes he would have been on here, but at the same time, I don't think he's that good. I don't understand he had like a game or two last season, or we've seen a couple of flashes, but at the end of the day, if he can't come in here and be a second-year player in the den in the lobby, what does it say really about him?
Hey, we thanks for the super chat. You know what I'm saying? Alpha Casa said he sent you a super chat. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Alpha
there you go.
for sending the super chat. You know what I'm saying, to help the channels go around. You guys don't know how much how much is sacrificed financially, not just with time, to produce these shows and channels and everything else. So, you know, your donation, whether it's $2, $5, whatever dollars, definitely is helpful. So thank you, Afakasi, for the super
Appreciate it,
chat.
Yarda. Appreciate it, brother.
That's funny. Shout out to a really good, solid guy in Afakasi. I can't even, to be honest with you, I can't even create the words to explain how solid of a guy he is. But appreciate him for all that he does for Raider Nation.
Facts, dog. He's one of a kind, brother. I appreciate you more than you ever know, bro.
Yeah. Hey, we about to get into this wide receiver tight end room. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna talk about these wide receivers first. We got Jack Besh. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Amari Cooper is on the 53-man roster, so definitely
welcome back.
We gotta talk about that. Jacoby Myers is still on the roster. Dante Thornton, and I spelled that wrong. Dante Thornton Jr. Top, you know, typo there. Dante Thornton and Trey Tucker is our wide receivers. Hey, tell me what you think about this wide receiver room and its whole, and then tell me about the players that stick out to you on that wide receiver room, Auntie.
Well, to be honest, I love this wide receiver room. I think we got the perfect blend of possession receivers and deep threat receivers. At the end of the day, I love Amari Cooper's back. A lot of people saying, "Well, we bring him back. He's the end of the road," but he's one of the best route runners in the game, still to this day. And a lot of rookies, wide receivers that we have are going to learn a lot from him, especially Jack Besh and Dalton Thornton. You know what I mean? Their rookies are going to learn how to separate from him. And at the end of the day, we need somebody to come in here day one and contribute. And that's something I think Cooper can do. And then now we have more experience in this room. And then this is probably one of the best wide receiver rooms we had in a while. You know what I mean? So I'm really excited, and I can't wait to see it on the field week 1 against New England.
Yeah, you know what? When I'm looking at this roster, man, and when I'm looking at Jack Best, Amari Cooper, Jacoby Myers, DeDonte, I'm gonna say DeDonte since that's what's on screen. like Lad McConkey, LaDD, we gonna say DeDonte Thornton and Trey Tucker. I'm liking, like I said, I agree with you. I like this wide receiver room. We have experience in this room, and enough experience to where we don't have to really truly rely heavy on our rookie wide receivers. Remember, rookies are going to make rookie mistakes. And I think having veterans in there that can help them groom and help them grow, again, like you said, I agree with the Amari Cooper situation. One thing that has not left Amari Cooper, he may have lost a step maybe in his speed, but his route running is still there. You know what I'm saying? And if he can rub some of that game onto someone like a Jack Besh, or, you know, the reports that have came out about Dante Thornton not really running, you know, the best of route trees. Well, hey, you got someone that can run routes. You know what I'm saying? And he can learn tremendous, things on that front. Now, in regards to the head coach, you know, saying Pete Carroll's talked about this specifically, and he said, "Hey, there's a situation where we only had one X receiver." You know what I'm saying? And that X receiver was Dante Thornton. You know what I'm saying? And now he's like, now we got some versatility at X. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We got more than one X in the room and with Amari Cooper. So I'm excited about that. You know, a lot of people were hyped about Thornton because of his size and his speed, and that's something to be excited about. And there's definitely things that he's, you know, little flashes on the field that he's shown here and there, but to really rely on that for 17 weeks out of a rookie is a tough and tall task. You know what I'm saying? So to have a veteran in there that can either, you know, spell him or, you know, either take over for that X position and every once in a while have Dante Thornton go out there and do his thing and let him grow and groom. And, there's benefits to having a rookie sit the bench and learn. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you got people in that room to learn. And I think when you look at this room, I think there's enough for Jack Besh and Dante Thornton to get something. Whether they haven't, you know what I'm saying? And not saying that Jacoby Myers hasn't been spitting that game to them, either, but to have some more guys in there, you know what I'm saying, that they can rely on. And shout out to Trey Tucker, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's another guy that a lot of people are sleeping on, I think. I think with Trey Tucker, he has, I think every year, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Auntie, I think every year we've seen Trey Tucker improve. You know what I'm saying? I think every year he's added a little something else to his game. He's not just a speed guy. He's running routes. You know what I'm saying? One of the things that I had an issue with, you know what I'm saying, early, and I know you probably had the same issue with him, was the hands. Yep. You know what I'm saying? He was running routes, getting open, doing his thing, but he was out there double catching stuff. You know what I'm saying? And we was having some heart attacks because there was times where he would run one of them out routes going to the sideline, and he would be double catching it. And I'm like, come on, possess it before you go out of bounds. And I'm glad that we've seen the improvements even in his hands. So shout out to Trey Tucker for progressing year to year.
No, facts. And at the end of the day, this is one of the best wide receiver rooms we have, and I'm really excited just for Amari Cooper, just to get with these rookies and show them how to break down film and study their opponents and the cornerbacks they're going to be going against. I think that's one of the biggest things too, especially for Jack Besh. His game reflects a lot of Amari Cooper's. He's not the fastest, you know what I mean, but he's a good blocker, and he can learn how to separate from the NFL cornerbacks from Amari Cooper. So at the end of the day, shout out to our GM and head coach for putting this room together.
For sure. We're gonna move on to probably what did I do here?
Oh shit.
Give me 1 second. You guys make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. We are definitely, there we go. We are definitely giving you the Raider gospel. Let me look at the chat, see if you guys had any comments or questions. Shout out to my boo. My boo is in the building. I haven't seen him in a minute, but I'm glad that you came over.
What's up, MG?
I know you have duties as a moderator on other channels, but I'm glad that you took some time to hang out with your boo today. Good to see you. Mike G in the building. Good to see.
What's up, MG? Michael? Hope everything's well with you and your family, brother. It's always good seeing you.
Yeah. So this is probably one of the most solidest rooms I think on our roster, and that's the tight end room. You know what I'm saying? We got Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, and Ian Thomas. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about this tight end room on T6?
I love this tight end room. I really do. From top to bottom, I think Ian Thomas is just underrated. You know what I mean? He has a lot of talent. I think he really could start and be a number one wide receiver. I mean, number one tight end and the other teams and shit, but yet he's here. But at the end of the day, I'm excited. I could see Chip Kelly using all three of them at one time on the field. You know what I mean? It should be exciting to see them on goal line, especially what are you going to do? Like, pick your poison. At the end of the day, all of them can start. And where we start, Mr. Brock Bowers, just a beast. You know what I mean? And Michael Mayer this year, I think he has all the stuff mentally behind him, and he's focused now on football, and he's been looking good in the preseason. You know what I mean? And all the reports out of camp that he's looking like himself and this back to his old self. So at the end of the day, I'm really excited to see this tight end room, man. I just can't wait for week one, but I love this tight end room.
Yeah, I agree with you. I really like this tight end room. Some of the things that you said, I'm gonna repeat because I need people to understand that's where I'm with on it. I think everybody in that room, if you split them up they all could be starters on another team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like you said, Ian Thomas, that dude, and you know, I don't pause, I press play. But that dude is huge.
Yeah, he is.
He's a big tight end. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's going to benefit us a lot. I would love to see, you know what I'm saying, the 13 personnel. 13 personnel is when you use, you know what I'm saying, 3 tight ends. Because what are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? What are you really going to do? Brock Bowers can route you up and get open. We've seen Michael Mayer, you know what I'm saying, be a reliable guy and get open in the pass catching situation. And Ian Thomas, we seen it in preseason. He was snagging it right down the middle, you know what I'm saying, getting open. So, and all these guys block. So it's not like, you know, not like years of past where we knew Lee Smith wasn't catching the ball. It was a surprise when Lee Smith caught the ball. You know what I'm saying? He was primarily they called him the auxiliary offensive lineman. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He was literally blocking. You know what I'm saying? And he was one of the best blockers out of the tight end room. You know what I'm saying? Just in the NFL. So, but you knew certain guys were like, I'm drawing a blank on who was the other guy opposite of Darren Waller, but the you know, Darren Waller obviously was going to be catching the ball, but that other tight end pretty much was the blocker. With this tight end room, they do both.
Yeah,
they can catch and they can also block. So you don't know what having that versatility. You're not showing your hand when it comes to the defensive, you know, side of the ball. On the defensive side of the ball, you're going to see, you know, in the olden day, you will see Darren Waller and say, okay, he's going to be the guy that's going to run the route. Let's not worry about that other tight end. You know what I'm saying? But here, both guys could be live. There might be situations and I wouldn't prefer it, but just to have that flexibility, there might be a situation where Brock Bowers is blocking and Michael Mayer is running the route. You know what I'm saying? And having that flexibility and that versatility, and I think this, out of the besides special teams, this is the smallest room.
Facts.
Only 3 guys, but 3 guys, but also, you know, with it being 3 guys, it, you know, I might have to do a whole live on that. What room do you think is the most productive in its totality? And I think the tight end room, everybody's going, you know, I think everybody's going to get some action, not just because there's 3 guys in that room, but I think just because of their talent. You know what I'm saying? I really think that Ian Thomas is not just a third tight end. I think he's going to be, you know what I'm saying, in certain situations, he's going to be an option. And it's going to benefit us as a team.
No, yeah, true that. And it's just exciting too, just to see what Chip Kelly has in store with them. You know what I mean? Just the versatility, like you said. You can line them up at wide receiver, at tight end, at fullback. You know what I mean? It's just gonna be exciting. I'm just excited for this season.
Mike G said, establish the pass to close with the run. Hey, look, that's we've seen that game before. You know what I'm saying? Establish the pass, keep them honest, and then when it comes to 4th down, you know, 4th quarter and we up, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead and let these running backs run wild and you know what I'm saying? Run that clock. Time of possession, right? Time of possession is going to be definitely a key for us to win some games. So shout out to Mike G for that comment. Let me move on to the next room. I think we're gonna go. I've been debating where I wanted to go in this room. Hey, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button as you guys are on. Auntie Six is definitely in the building today, so shout out to Auntie Six for being here. and appreciate him being here. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for that because I don't feel like getting pissed off yet. Let's go with this one. And I might get pissed off here, but hey, it is what it. Oh no, let's go here. Let's go to a lighter side. And I think somewhat of a positive, another positive to this team.
Oh yeah. Woo!
That defensive line, okay? Thomas Booker IV, Adam Butler, Max Crosby, Leaky Fotu, Tonka Hemingway, okay? Malcolm Kuntz, Jonah Lalu, JJ. I ain't gonna say your last name because I've heard it 20 different times. And I'm just not gonna do that. But I'm gonna say JJ, and you guys know who I'm talking about. Charles Snowden and Tyree Wilson. Let me know what you feel about this defensive line room. You can tell me about who's in there. You can tell me who's not in there. Hint, hint. You know what I'm saying? You can tell me who's not in there and what you think about that, because I'm definitely going to talk a little bit about that myself. But what do you think about this room on T6?
To be honest with you, I love everyone in this room. Everyone on this room deserves to make the roster. This is one of the most best versatile defensive lines that we're going to have in a long time. I think we can probably pull out maybe like two starting defensive line out of these guys. And I'm just excited. Just the versatility of Adam Butler to play a defensive end and line up at 3 technique, and then line up at nose tackle. Even Tyree Wilson, you can put him on the inside, you can put him on the outside. You know what I mean? It just, this whole defensive line, I'm excited, and this is the deepest defensive line we had in years, and I'm excited. I really am, especially if Malcolm Kuntz can get back to himself where he was before the injury and stuff. Oh God, may we have mercy on everybody in the league, because it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad.
Yeah, I think the question mark still is in this room in regards to Malcolm Kuntz. We don't know, what Malcolm Kuntz we're going to get off of that injury. You know what I'm saying? And that's still a concern. Not saying it's a huge concern, but it's a kind of like, hey, we'll wait and see if Malcolm Kuntz comes to form. But in totality of this defensive line room, I think that I really do like this room as a whole. You're looking at the elephant, what I'm saying, that has left the room is Christian Wilkins. And I thought, what are we gonna do losing Christian Wilkins? I really thought that. But when you look at this room, what can happen is, because there's so much versatility in this room, and there's so many guys that can, play that are good at certain things and can plug in certain situations. It's going to be really up to this coaching staff to play these guys in those certain ways. I think having Tyree playing inside and out, and I'm just excited about Tyree playing inside. I think the rushes that I saw from Tyree at the defensive tackle spot, I think there might be something there. I'm not saying that he's going to be an all-pro or anything, but he's going to be a producer for us this year. And I think when you look at this roster, if they move these, that's the wrong line. That's the wrong line. There we go. The defensive line, if they move these guys, play certain guys in third down, play certain guys in second down, rotate guys, I think we're not going to miss a player like Christian Wilkins. I'm not saying that, we're complete, defensive line. Of course, we always want talent, on our D-line. And, hey, if a good defensive D lineman comes out and we can snag him, then, hey, we might have to let go of Charles Snowden or somebody to make room. But I think we can get by with the guys that we have in this room. You know what I'm saying? We know that Adam Butler is going to do Adam Butler things. We know that Max Crosby is going to do Max Crosby things. But behind that, who's going to be those other two? You know what I'm saying? Is it going to be Tyree? Is it going to be Malcolm Kuntz? Is it going to be, you know what I'm saying, Tonka Hemingway? Is it going to be Jonah Laulu? You know what I'm saying? We don't. Those are things that we're still waiting to see who's going to really step up into those roles. But I think there is roles throughout the season for these guys, and I think they fit where they fit. Now, Licky Fotu was a question mark for me because we didn't really see him in preseason, and I think that was because of injury. But I think they're trusting because he is a bigger body defensive tackle, pretty much nose tackle.
Yeah.
We'll be using for him. So obviously they're trusting that he's that guy for us. And the other guy that's a late surprise, you know what I'm saying, because we added him late, was Thomas Booker IV.
Yeah.
Auntie Six, what do you think about Thomas Booker?
I think he's a good player. I'm not expecting him to come in here and be Warren Sapp or fucking transform our defense, but I do expect him to come in here and contribute right away. I have a good buddy that's an Eagles fan, and that he actually liked this guy Booker. He said he was very talented, but with the depth they had at the defensive line, he never really saw any playing time. But when he did start and play for them, you did see the talent and the playmaking ability he does have from the defensive tackle position. So at the end of the day, does it suck that we lost? I can't think about the cornerback we traded away right now for him.
Ja'Cory Bennett.
Yeah. Does it suck that we lost Ja'Cory Bennett? Yes, it does. But at the end of the day, he's already hurt with the Eagles. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it is what it is. But I really like him. What we showed us on tape already is pretty good. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it just makes you go seeing what potential he has during the season. Once he gets more comfortable with his teammates and the system, just the sky's the limit for him this year. So I'm excited to see what he can do.
Yeah, I'm excited about and I think you nailed it in regards to I think you nailed it in regards to how I just forgot I didn't do something. We don't have, of course, we have a few. Max Crosby, great. Adam Butler, great. Like I said, but some of these other guys, they're just good.
Yeah,
and they fit a role, and they can play that role. And like you said, you're not expecting Thomas Booker to be the all-star guy, but you know that he has a role. Mm-hmm. And you think that, you believe, and I believe the same thing, that he can play that role.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to have in regards to the D-line. That's why I said it's going to be up to this coaching staff to plug these guys where, where they fit. Tyree, right now, Tyree is on our rush on third down. Why? Mm-hmm. Because he fits. He fits there. You know what I'm saying? Yep. When you have Malcolm Kuntz, Tyree will, and that's how they're lining up. Malcolm Kuntz, Tyree Wilson, Adam Butler, and then Max Crosby. There goes your rush. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And don't be surprised if another guy slides in, you know what I'm saying, throughout the season, because I think there is some other guys that do have rush ability, but they believe Tyree is definitely filling that defensive tackle role in that specific occasion of pass rush. So that's what I'm talking about in regards to them plugging guys certain downs and certain distances to get the job done.
Okay. No facts in the. And there's one more player I want to talk about, and that's JJ. You know what I mean? In college, they use him a lot on the goal line and at fullback. So he's a really talented, athletic defensive tackle, and I want to see how he gets better from week one throughout the season because there's a lot of talent there. And I'm surprised he was there when we drafted him because he was really productive in college.
You know what? I saw the same thing, when we did draft him because I was not aware of him. I was not aware of him. So when we drafted him, obviously for me, I got to do my homework. You know what I'm saying? I got to go watch some tape on him. I got to go see what he was doing, how that, how I think he's going to fit. And I think JJ is definitely in kind of like our wide receivers where, with Jack Besh and Dante Thornton, he might get a couple of snaps out there, but if he can, sit behind some of these vets and just kind of slow cook, I think he might actually be groomed, you know what I'm saying, in a year or two to actually be one of those day one starters. I think I'm high on JJ in regards to, what I saw coming out of college. I think he just needs to make sure that works for him, you know what I'm saying, on the NFL level. So definitely shout out to you, Auntie, for pointing that out, because I forgot to bring that out about JJ. Yeah. I think JJ is definitely and I'll use it as phrase as this, a sleeping giant. I think we might have something with JJ in about a year or two, you know what I'm saying, after he gets acclimated to this NFL game.
No, facts, man. That's what excited, man. Shout out to Spytek and Pete Carroll. I keep saying it, but you know what I mean? The construction, had they rebuilt this roster in just 1 year from what it was last year, just to go to show you how bad it really was, and just the amount of talent that we're able to put in here in just 1 year, and just starting with the draft, you know what I mean? The whole draft, and just think about all the rookies that make this team. When was the last time we had all these rookies actually make a Raiders team and shit? It's been a while, man. There's a lot of talent in this rookie class coming in. Just to go on with the rookies that we had from last year, I think we're starting to build a solid foundation here with the Raiders going to the future.
Yeah, I'm right now. It's early to see where these rookies, how they will pan out, and if they pan out, and all of that. But I see where it's going. You know what I'm saying? I see that, you got the JJ, you know what I'm saying? The Tonka Hemingway could be a surprise for us, you know what I'm saying, down the line. You know what I'm saying? These guys, they're young, and if they, like I said, if they could sit for a little bit, we might actually have something in about a year or two, and that works for us. That's, there goes my word again, cheap labor. You know what I'm saying? You got these guys under cheap labor. You got 4 years for them to, to show you something. And if you keep them here and teach them and mature them, who knows what we'll have on our roster. Just picture where, where you obviously, we got Adam Butler, we got Max Crosby, we got guys on the top of this roster, but what if JJ and Tonka Hemingway are really them, and now we don't even have enough room to you know what I'm saying? We ain't got enough spots for them to be on the field. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they gonna be that second wave of guys. You know what I'm saying, for us, and I'm always into having depth. So when you look at these other teams, you know what I'm saying, everybody talks about the Eagles, and they can come at you. Their first line is good, but they got some guys on that second line that are probably just as good, but it's just when you got, a Carter and all those, guys, obviously they're number ones, right?
Yeah.
And that's where we need to get to. You know what I'm saying? We need to get to that. But I'm encouraged on this D line. I think this D line can definitely carry us through the season, and we'll see. We'll see how that pass rush goes. All right.
Sure.
Let's go into let's talk about them linebackers, dog.
All right.
Jamal Adams, Tommy Eichenberg, Cody Lindenberg, the Berg brothers, Jermaine Pratt, Alandon Roberts. Okay, and because typos, look, it says Alandon Roberts, apostrophe S, and Devin White. Okay, those are our linebackers, How are you feeling about this linebacking room? Tell me what players you know what I'm saying are liking, disliking. What
Yeah.
what you got, Auntie?
I mean, I love this linebacking core. You know what I mean? I think this is one of the most versatile linebacking cores. You know what I mean? We got linebackers that can blitz. We got the cover. We got great tacklers. We got speed sideline to sideline. It's gonna be interesting to see these guys play together. You know what I mean? Especially in the cover three Pete Carroll system that we're gonna be running. But at the end of the day, I love them all starting six and stuff. And at the end of the day, I know people are mad that we lost our starting linebacker from last year, but I think we're gonna be not a better 1 through 6 this year than we were last year.
Absolutely. I think, in regards to this linebacking room, the only thing that I have a concern on is coverage.
Yeah.
All these guys, they're really good coming downhill, but I don't know who's going to be like that coverage guy.
Yeah.
For us at the linebacking group. Now, how they plug those guys and how they, use those guys according to the system, we'll see how that plays out, because I think even in preseason, we saw a lot of, just basic stuff. We don't know what these guys are cooking for us, you know what I'm saying, in regards to the week 1, week 2 type of game situation. But coverage is definitely something that I'm going to be continuing to keep an eye out on in regards to this linebacking room. Now, one of the surprises that a lot of people, actually had mixed reviews on is the guy that's on the top of this list, and that's Jamal Adams. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of people when we signed Jamal Adams, they were like, oh, Jamal Adams ain't going to make the roster. I heard that. You know what I'm saying? I heard, Jamal Adams ain't who he is. You know what I'm saying? And I beg to differ. You know what I'm saying? I think he's doing a great job for us at the linebacking position and the role that he's being asked to play. And I think there's going to be a lot of production coming from Jamal Adams in that effort. So I'm excited about the season, and especially with Jamal Adams being in there. I think these young guys, again, the Berg brothers, I think they're there just as a reserves.
Yeah.
I think, Eichenberg showed a little bit. He didn't show a little bit. He's kind of, here with it. Lindenberg is still, a young. When did we draft him? 7th round or something like that? You know what I'm saying? So there's stuff that they need to learn, and I think that we have enough veterans like Jermaine Pratt, you know what I'm saying, in this room where they can sit there and actually learn, you know what I'm saying, and grow from these guys. So I'm excited about this linebacking group, but I'm also a little concerned in regards to the coverage aspect of these linebackers. Did you have anything else on the linebackers?
No, I'm just excited. At the end of the day, I just want to say Pete Carroll knows what linebackers and that fit his cover 3 defense looks like. I know some guys want to say, well, this guy's still here. I don't know why. At the end of the day, they know Pete Carroll knows what he wants in his linebackers and what they need to be good at. At the end of the day, his linebackers in Seattle were never first, second round picks. They were always 4th through 7th round, or even sometimes undrafted guys that went in there and produced. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what we think. It matters that they fit the system and they fit what they want to do, and clearly they do. That's why they're on this team.
All right, for sure. Let's go to these cornerbacks. We're gonna keep it moving. Shout out to everybody. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button on the channel. Double tap the screen. That's how you can like the video, and then also go ahead and take a second to subscribe. Hey, we got cornerbacks: Darnay Holmes, Caillou Blue Kelly, Darian Porter, D. Cameron Richardson, and Eric Stokes. How are you feeling about this cornerback room?
I love this cornerback room, bro. This room, I mean, I'm gonna say this. This room is very talented. There's a lot of, we're gonna go through a lot of growing pains with this cornerback room, but it's a lot of talent there, a lot of versatility. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I know some people are mad that some players are on the team from the cornerback room, but at the end of the day, like I tell you guys, Pete Carroll knows what these corners that 50 system looks like. You know, he drafted Richard Sherman in the 5th round. He was a wide receiver in college and converted him to a cornerback. So on the day, he knows what they look like. That's why I'm excited to see what Porter has starting day one, and DeCam Richardson. You know what I mean? Our last year's pick. You know, I think he fits perfect in the system. You know what I mean? If he's able to get experience and start this year, I'm excited, and we possibly could have our starting corners of the future if everything works out how we want it to. But we'll see what happens, but I'm excited for this room.
Yeah, I might sound a little different on T6, but
yeah,
I'm concerned about this cornerback room. And the reason why I'm concerned is because when I saw them in preseason, you know, one of the things that cornerbacks do, and I think it's a basic of what they do, is break up passes.
Yeah.
And we didn't see much of that in the preseason. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And you know, making a play on the ball. We didn't see that with these guys. And I think we're really young in that room. Yeah. And that's probably why we are where we are. I think defensively that might be our weakest link.
Yeah.
And like you said, not saying that they're horrible. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like we just need to get rid of those guys. I think they just need some time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think Darian Porter will step in and eventually be that guy. I think, you know what I'm saying? DeCamerion will eventually take another step for us. You know what I'm saying? And the surprise, and I think he's hurt, is Caillou Blue Kelly. So the question is, who's going to be our second? We know Eric Stokes is going to be our starter on the outside. You know what I'm saying? And I think Darnay Holmes is pretty much our slot corner. But who's going to play that number 2? Is it going to be Darian Porter, or is it going to be DeCamerion Richardson? And with that being said, we might have some troubles if they don't, you know, snapping into gear. Yeah. Or, you know what I'm saying? And that might be our growing pains. Again, growing pains. I think DeCam is a guy that has everything that we need. Darian Porter, physically, they all have what we need. It's just they need those reps to grow and get better. But definitely, for me, this cornerback room is definitely there's some concern there.
No, I completely agree where you're coming from. But like I try to remind myself, Pete Carroll knows what he's doing, what these corners need to look like. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you've seen them from breaking down film before they were drafted to the reason they're here. You know what I mean? Gus Bradley must love them too and shit. So they must fit the system. They all bring something different to the table. But what I'm thinking is they're physically, they fit the profile. Speed-wise, they fit the profile. Athletically, they do. Why do they fit the system? Yeah. So more likely, at the end of the day, I think they're going to succeed, not just because of them, because of our defensive line and the depth. You know what I mean? The quarterback ain't going to have 5 or 6 seconds to get the ball out, you know what I mean, to have to scan the field against this defensive line. No, they're only have a second or two, maybe 3 tops, especially with the defensive line depth that we have this year. So I think that's going to help hide some of the deficiencies our cornerbacks have this year as well.
Got it. And I think, yeah, definitely Pete Carroll and Patrick Graham are definitely going to have to, you know, put these guys in position and hopefully they're getting coached up properly. I think with seeing Pete Carroll out there with the gloves, you know, on the field in practice, yeah, obviously I think he's working to get that. Excuse me, get that pick. We're going to go over to the offensive line before I show it. Offensive line, Alex Kappa, DJ Glaze, Charles Grant, Jordan Meredith, Kelton Miller, Thayer Munford, Dylan Parham, Will Putnam, Jackson Power Johnson, and Caleb Rogers. How are you feeling about this offensive line?
Actually, I'm gonna take my backseat to this one because I want to hear what you said because I know you've been biting your tongue. So go ahead, my brother Twuan.
Man, this offensive line. Look, I got an issue. I have an issue. And this shows the totality. Here I go saying my phrase, the totality of this roster.
Yeah.
We put, and I know this is old, but this is still reality. They put Thayer Munford on the 53-man roster. Why did they do that? Didn't they see how horrible Thayer Munford played in the preseason? Pretty much, letting anybody and everybody get past him in the preseason, right? So why is he on the roster? This is why he's on the roster, or why he was selected on the 53-man roster. Because who do we have behind him? We ain't got nobody. So because we ain't got nobody, we got to deal with a guy that's been playing trash all preseason.
Yeah.
That's an issue.
Facts.
And I'm going to jump a little ahead, but this new guy that we brought in, of course he has rapport, but when you look at his stats, it is not pretty. He's another Alex Kappa that played horrible last season, and we brought him to the roster.
Yeah.
And even further, this O-line played bad last year. And what did we do to bolster it? We brought in a backup guard.
Fuck, that's what
We brought in one guy, Alex Kappa, and expect for this O-line to take a huge jump. I got concerns about this O-line. And yes, they did. There were certain things they did well in preseason. Yeah, I did see a little movement. Yeah, and all of that. But we're one injury away.
Yep.
On this O-line. And that's where when you look at our roster, that's where a lot of these cornerback, one injury away.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We're very top heavy.
Yeah.
There's only a handful of, and we talked about it because we're almost at the end of going through every room, but you know what rooms we're solid in, and those are only like 3, 4 maybe.
Yeah.
The for me and not saying Auntie Six agrees with this. I like the tight end room. I like the wide receiver room, the quarterback room. Linebackers kind of a question. I honestly, we'll jump to that one. I'll give the safeties.
Yeah.
But outside of that,
yeah,
we're one injury away. Go ahead, Auntie.
No, I think me personally, what the original plan was for Alex Kappa to start at right guard and Jackson Powers to be at center. But since Alex Kappa was hurt and never seen the field, they had no other choice than start Meredith at center and put Jackson Powers at right guard. But since that never came back until the last preseason game, and he only played a couple snaps, and you can't have him go out there like that. So at the end of the day, just for him not being available to us, messed up the whole offensive line. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, I'm not comfortable going into the season as Jordan Meredith starting center of the Las Vegas Raiders. You know what I mean? I have a lot of question marks, and that's the biggest question mark I have on this offensive line, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? I understand he's looked decent and this and that, but at the end of the day, we all remember how he looked last year and the year before that. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. I'm trying to stay positive, but It just sucks that inability for somebody not to be there just mess up the whole offensive line and the continuity that we had from last season going into this season. Just remember, Jackson Powers was the whole offseason. He was trained to be the starting offensive lineman. So you go from thinking you're going to be the starting center of the whole offseason and shit to training camp. This guy's hurt. Hey, we're going to have to move you to right guard because he can't do it when we put Meredith at center. You know what I mean? Just because we don't have a backup center. And at the end of the day, this is the best offensive line we can come up with. I'm a little worried. But the thing is, too, that I keep reminding myself, we really didn't have a good offensive line coach last year. And that's something that we do this year. So at the end of the day, I like to remember myself that all the players in the NFL are talented. But if we don't have a coach that can put you in the right position or in the right scheme that you can do good in, just like Zamir White last year, you know what I mean? He was more of a power running, and then they're running zone. When he was out there, it made no sense to me to this day, but what can you do? But at the end of the day, coaching does play a big part of it, and at the end of the day, I believe this coach staff gets the best out of him, but we'll see. But to answer my boy LV Raiders question, Alvaro Martinez is going to have 4 interceptions today against Notre Dame. 4. So write it down right now.
And that's why we trying to, you know what I'm saying, we trying to move and groove because I know it's almost showtime. So
it's all good, my brother.
We're gonna try to get up out of here, but definitely want to get through this.
Yeah.
I'm with you. How, and this is where I don't get it. Yeah. And again, I try to do my homework. I try to do the best to understand what's going on with this team, what makes sense and what does not make sense. And I don't understand how Jordan Meredith, you know what I'm saying, he graded well at guard, and then we put him at center, and JPJ was doing fine. I think he was doing fine at center. And I felt that with JPJ, moving him to center or having him center, then having him move to guard, then moving him to center, all you're doing is messing with his development. Yeah. When these rookies come in, you need to give them one job and have them master that one job before you start throwing all these other responsibilities on them.
Facts.
And I think if JPJ could have stayed at center, just see what Jordan Meredith does at guard, because obviously last year he was one of the higher graded guards.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why are we messing with it?
I don't know.
Why are we messing with it? So those are just a little bit of the concerns that I have on this offensive line, because I could probably do a whole live on what I got for this O line. But we gotta move it. And I know that's a down spot, and I know some people don't like. Everybody likes to talk about the glitters and rainbows. You know what I'm saying? You know, there's a lot of people that don't come over to this channel because I don't blow smoke up your guys' butt. You know what I'm saying? And stuff. You know, there's a lot of other 20K subscriber channels that can do that for you. 20K plus channels that can do that for you. But that ain't gonna be one here. Let's move on from that so we can have maybe a little lighter, favorable, make you want to smile a little bit room. And that's our safeties. Okay. Jeremy Chin, Thomas Harper, Isaiah Palomau, and Chris Smith. How are you feeling about this safety room, man?
I actually like the safety room. I'm not saying it's the most talented we have in a while, but there's a lot of versatility. You know what I mean? They can line up in the slot and be that bigger nickel player that we need, and nickel down. You know what I mean? I love Palomalo. He's probably going to be our free safety, which I love and shit. He brings a lot of versatility. You know what I mean? Especially last year, him playing just producing. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm just excited. I don't know much about this Harper guy that we just got from the Eagles. You know what I mean? But we'll see what he brings to the table. But at the end of the day,
Harper's been on the team.
Oh, my bad.
We added a new guy.
Okay, my bad.
That's the when I said initial. These are the guys that
got you.
Been with us in camp. The other guy is, I think his last name is McCullum or something.
Oh, okay, yeah, got you. My bad. My bad.
But yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, yeah, but yeah, but at the end of the day, you know, what I mean, I'm excited. It should be interesting, especially how to see how they use these guys. But they're all versatile. They can all play at the line of scrimmage, play coverage, and tackle well. So we'll see how Pete Carroll and Patrick Graham uses them.
Yeah, I think in regards to the safety room, I like it. There is a question mark for me. Is I'm not fully on the Isaiah Palomal bus in regards to him playing a full 17 games. And we'll see how that goes. I love his progression. I love that he's got better year to year, kind of like Trey Tucker. He's got better every year. We've seen, but to really trust him to be that number 2 safety with Jeremy Chin, you know what I'm saying? If they don't deploy a 3 safety, 3 safety look at times, is going to be a test. So everybody's been high on him in the room. You know what I'm saying? Coaching staff's been high on him. So I just got to give, and a lot of people have said, in Pete Carroll we trust. So I got to trust Pete Carroll that he sees that Isaiah Palomal is ready to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? For us, opposite Jeremy Chin. But I like this safety room. And, when I was talking bad about the secondary, you know what I'm saying? I really wasn't talking about the safeties. I was talking bad about these corners. So if you hear something that came out in a short or something where I said secondary, I'm really referring to the corners, because these safeties, I think they did their job. I think, what was it, 2 interceptions in the preseason? You know what I'm saying? Coming from the safety room. So obviously the safeties are on program.
Yeah. And most importantly, they fit the system. You know what I mean? Like I said, Pete Carroll knows what he wants from the safety position, and I think he found them with these guys. At the end of the day, Chris Smith has looked pretty good in preseason. I'm not saying he looked great, but he did look good, versatile. So we'll see what happens, but I'm really excited to see them on the field.
Yeah, Chris Smith, he looked a whole lot better, you know what I'm saying, this year. And I seen that improvement out of him. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that he's kind of like the, you know what I'm saying, at the bottom, just in case, there's other guys ahead of him, because I would not trust him to be, out there, full time or whatever the situation may be.
Facts.
But I think he's definitely deserving of an auxiliary spot. We'll see how they deploy him. Now, I think everybody. I forgot. Let me add 5 rooms that are solid. I'm gonna jump out there and I'm gonna say the special teams is solid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jacob Bobenmoyer, Daniel Carlson, and AJ Cole. How you feeling about our special teams, man?
Fucking great, amazing. You know what I mean? These 3 guys have been together a couple of years now. You know what I mean? They all look good, all Pro Bowl caliber players, and we as Raider fans have been spoiled. Me since 1998, so that I became a fan of having great special teams. You know what I mean? From Shane Lechner to Janikowski, you know what I mean, to this Daniel Carson now. So at the end of the day, I know he was a little shaky in the preseason, but he got it good. He got it going towards the end of it. So I'm not worried at all. At the end of the day, it is the preseason for a reason, and he got everything out, and he's back on track now. So I'm excited to see him.
Yeah, I think we're solid at. I'll just say it like this. I think we're solid at who we got. They've been together for a while, and I'm glad they kept the band together to keep that chemistry. And we'll see how they definitely help us out, because Daniel Carlson has saved us a whole bunch of times with his leg, and we know AJ Cole is punting the heck out of the ball. I think, if you ask me who was the better guy between Daniel Carlson and AJ Cole, I think AJ Cole, has taken that jump and has actually been the better special teams guy out of the 2. There was a point where AJ Cole, Daniel Carlson was the better guy.
Yeah.
And I think AJ Cole has got better at being a punter. And I think AJ Cole right now, if you ask me who was better between the 2, I would say AJ Cole.
No, I completely agree. Ever since he came in here, every year he has gotten better. That's why he's one of the better punters in the league. And just his leg and his versatility is just amazing. You know what I mean? So it's especially his ability to put in the ball inside the 10-yard line is just unbelievable. So shout out to our special teams, and they're really so. I mean, I had no question they weren't going to make the special teams. We didn't bring in here. It's funny, you know what teams have fucking special teams issues when you bring 3 or 4 kickers or punters into camp. When you don't bring nobody, you know your special teams are set. So we were set from day one. So it's good to hear.
Yeah, we could be like the 49ers where every week they cussing at their screen because Mooney is just missing everything. You know what I'm saying? But hey, that's the end of our analysis and review. You know what I'm saying? Of the initial 53-man roster. I know they have made some additions here and there. You know what I'm saying? And obviously Spytech is on the phone, you know what I'm saying, making calls and putting his waiver wires in and everything else to really fill out this roster. But that's the initial roster that they brought out. And we need to do a review on it. There was a whole lot of people that were a lot of people in the congregation that was, hey, what do you think about this? What you thinking about this? So, I had to get the live out for you, and I'm glad, my brother Auntie Six came and definitely gave me his Raider gospel on this roster. Is there anything you want to add on this roster? Like I said, I want to get you out, you know what I'm saying, so you can enjoy your game, because I definitely am probably going to turn it on myself. But go ahead.
I mean, besides anything, just thanks to you, Twuan, for having me on. Shout out to the congregation. Shout out to everybody in the chat that pulled up. LV, AR, Myra, you know what I mean, Marcus, everybody, thanks for pulling up. Shout out to Spytech and Pete Carroll for putting this roster together. You know what I mean? Actually getting us a quarterback that we're actually believing. You know what I mean? And it's actually one of the best quarterbacks. It's not equal to Derek Carr than we had, but at the end of the day, I'm excited. So thanks for everything, Twuan. Shout out to my Miami Hurricanes that are about to play the Notre Dame right now. They're about to blow them out. So shout out to the U. It's all better when you root for the U. So Twuan, everybody, thanks for having me on to the next one.
All right, man. Hey, you can go ahead and go. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and eat your get your snacks and everything together. You know what I'm saying? So you can enjoy your game. I'm probably going to turn it on myself. And I'll just go ahead and let you go, but appreciate you again for showing up. And this will not be the last time. I'm putting it on record. This will not be the last time. You know what I'm saying? I definitely got to give me a little Auntie Six in my life, you know what I'm saying, in regards to this YouTube. So appreciate you. And if I could do anything for you, you know what I'm saying, when you get your stuff together, or if you got something going on, I'm just hit me on IG, and I'm available for it, brother.
Of course, bro. You can always hit me up too anytime, brother. God bless, and shout out to everyone. I'm out of here. Goodbye.
All right, take care, man. Hey, Auntie Six came in here, you know what I'm saying, definitely showed his love, you know what I'm saying, showed us, you know what I'm saying, gave us his Raider gospel on this initial 53. Some things he was excited about, some things he wasn't so excited about, and that's just the reality of it. And I'm glad that he came in. Shout out to everybody in the chat. It looks like there's not many questions that haven't been answered or have been posed. Okay. Mike G said Raiders 45, Pats 13. You know what I'm saying? He always likes to give a little score there. Let me look at the chat to make sure I got everybody. Auntie Six, Myra G, Marcus Banks, Afakasi, Daniel Berry. Okay. Yeah, shout out to everybody. Thank you guys for coming in. Hey, make sure you hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Okay. That's what helps this channel grow. That's what helps this channel improve. And that's that, you guys. Look, I say this, you know what I'm saying, just so you guys can be a part of it. If you guys want to support the channel, that's how you can support it. Cash App there, $Twuan, okay? $TWUAN, Venmo, at MarTwuan, okay? At MarTwuan. Again, we don't have super chats per se, but that is how you can be a part of contributing to the success of the channel outside of subscribing and hitting that like button. Of course, if you can't do anything contribution wise, again, do the things that are free. Hit that like button and hit that subscribe button, because we're on the road to 500 subscribers, and we'll probably definitely have a huge party when we get there. Probably a giveaway and everything else when we get there. So definitely you want to be a part of that. Here at Raider Twuan, we are advocates for being an organ donor. So if you're interested in being an organ donor, that is always down in the description of all my videos and all my lives. Shout out to Cool Kev, one of the value deacons in the building. $2. All right, $2. You know what I'm saying? You can put $2 on the Cash App. All right. Just playing. You know, do what you got to do. But here at Raider Twuan, we're advocates for being an organ donor. It's always down in the description of all my videos and all my lives. Go ahead and be an organ donor, okay? It means a lot to me. It means a lot to a lot of people that you may not even know or have a chance to, you know what I'm saying, to meet, but know that you are being a blessing to them. And I got a friend to let you guys know some things.
Fucking Stizan.
Twuan, hey Twuan, hit that like button. Why? Because I like you.
And remember, you're a blessing. Be a blessing to someone else. And wait, hold on. Let me take another sip. All right. Let's go, Raiders.
What up, Lo?
Today is a day when our heroes of the past become our legends of the future. Time never really stops for the great ones. We wrap them in a cloak of immortality and remember what great people they were. We recognize you, Virginia Man, his sons Mike and Joey. They were a football family, so that John could pursue his dreams. To Raider Twuan and a tribute to John Madden and Al Davis. We declare that the fire that burns the brightest in the Raiders organization is the will to win. Ladies and gentlemen, the Madden family.
Hey, Raider Twuan here. You must watch one of my videos or lives. Thank you for watching. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and it's right there. Or if you want to watch one of my videos, watch it right there. And let's go, Raiders.